So now that we know a little bit about the sunlight pump, let's find out how to install it. We already took the sunlight pump out of the packaging. The rest is still inside. So what will we find if we open up the package? We'll find our connecting cables. These cables are 7 meters long and already have the right MC4 adapters on them. They are an optimal length, so they're very practical to place your sunlight pump close to your solar panels, and you will not experience any power losses when using these cables. So please use these cables when setting up the sunlight pump. There's 2 of them, and you'll need both of them to connect your sunlight pump to your solar panels. Next up, we've got our camlock connectors. These camlock connectors go onto your hoses and are then used to place the hoses onto your pump, and it's got an easy mechanism to lock and unlock your hoses from the sunlight pump. Another element you'll find is the non-return valve. Let's have a closer look at it. The non-return valve has a mechanism inside which causes water to not flow back into, not flow back from the pump and out of the hose. So when there's water stored inside of the hose, it will not be able to return into your source. Also, it has a filtering mechanism which will protect the sunlight pump from any debris and gravel which could be floating in the water. How to connect these to the hoses? You will need a few elements. Most importantly, these are also in your package, are two clamps. So you'll need 2 clamps for every element you want to connect to a hose. And also you'll need a heat gun and some silicone. So what you do is you'd use the heat gun to heat up your hose. We definitely need you to not use fire, because fire creates a very pointed heat and will cause damage to your hoses. So you'll need to use a heat gun, which basically just heats up air and thus warms the hose. Then you can place some silicone onto your camlock connectors or onto the non-return valve, depending on what you are installing, and place it into the hose. After about 20 minutes of drying, you can pull tight the clamps onto the hose. The final product looks something like this. So you see the 2 clamps, the camlock connectors, and here some residue silicone which has been pushed out. The same goes for the non-return valve. What we also find in our set is a disconnector for the MC4 connectors. So you'll need this to disconnect your MC4 cables without any damage. So this is the optimal way if 2 cables are connected to disconnect them. Finally, what you find inside of your box is the standard issue manual. So this has a lengthy and intricate description of everything you need to know about the sunlight pump, including things such as warning states and troubleshooting. Yeah. So if you've got a problem, this is one of the go-tos you've got. Now that we've got all our material laid out and ready, we can go over to actually setting up the pump. So we'll do this quite simply. We'll take a simple setup example. And for this, we'll use the quick guide. So the first point, when you look at the quick guide, is select location. So what you need to do is you need to